Hi, and welcome to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. I'm your host, Eric Knowles, but before we get started, a word from one of our supporters.
At Convey, we're not only dedicated to solving today's biggest challenges facing healthcare organizations, we're also committed to predicting and planning for tomorrow's challenges by uniting a family of companies. We combine powerful technology with robust data analytics to deliver integrated end-to-end solutions that achieve meaningful results. Start your journey towards transformative business performance with Convey.
Hi, and welcome back to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. And yeah, I'm excited. As I say, helping Black businesses grow, helping women and minority businesses grow, that's what we do. And today we have Miss Tricia Lewis.
Yes.
Of Vintage Glam with us today. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a wonderful day, and I'm glad to be here.
Oh, thank you. Before we get started, I want you to tell folks, who's Tricia Lewis? Campbell Lewis.
Yes, Tricia Campbell Lewis. Yes, I'm a mother of one with an amazing daughter that's in law school right now. I've been married for about 13 years. And it's been an amazing ride. I'm also a youth minister. I'm also a worship leader as well.
I did not know that.
Yes. So the art of serving, or the ministry of serving, in all the things that I do, is one of the things that I take joy in. So it kind of goes across all areas of my life, and I like to do a lot of other things. But the main thing that I take joy in is doing whatever I can for anybody that needs help.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, so what what propelled you to become this entrepreneur?
Well, the entrepreneur spirit is in my family. I have a lot of, we're serialpreneurs. We're Islanders, Jamaican. So, as the saying goes.
So you got 5 jobs?
Yes. yes. And hobbies as well. That goes along with that. With my parents being migrants and coming over, and my father being a police officer, my mother being a nurse, they had other jobs that they did. And so coming along, we wanted to experience the great American dream by just building things. So that's where it comes in, with just the entrepreneurial spirit. And, it continues on, and we hope that all the things that we started will go on with both my cousins, my daughter, and the legacy that we're trying to plant right now.
Okay. And Vintage Glam, what was the birth of Vintage Glam? Let's tell folks, first of all, what is Vintage Glam?
Well, Vintage Glam is a curated experience that basically means that I'm not only a party planner, but I also curate experiences. So it's not just about a party, it's about you going into an event and making sure that every part of that event is something that's memorable. And that came about by me being the oldest child and the only daughter. So anything that had to do with the family, I was always the one to help and to assist. And as I continue to do that for my church as well and other organizations, one of my daughter's friends says, hey, can your mom do something for me? And they kept asking. And I said, hey, instead of continuing to do this as a hobby, I love what I do. I love serving. I love trying to assist and to organize to make other people's life easier. And that's basically where the birthing came from.
Okay. And what does a day in the life of Vintage Glam look like?
A day in the life it's very busy. A lot of people feel that when they do call you for an event, because we also have a transportation company as well.
I was going to get into that.
Yeah, that it's just that day. But once I meet with the client, it starts out, I do full service. So that basically means that if they need a venue, custom shoes, custom clothing, hairstylists, I have a list of people that are on my that are on the list that I trust, and I try to make sure that that client, what they're paying for, it's worth the value. So it's not just someone that's calling and just putting something together. It's making sure everything from beginning to end is taken care of for them.
And then here we are. This is 2023. And you've been engaged with the chamber for a while now.
Yes.
You're probably, I see, almost every Tuesday.
Yes.
On our Tuesday meetups.
Right.
As we Zoom. And actually, this whole program began from a Zoom platform, and here we are today. Being an event-driven business, the pandemic must have had a big toll. Let's
Um,
talk about that a little bit.
the strange thing is that it actually propelled more on the transportation side. We got more creative where we didn't allow food on the buses. So we have our Mercedes Sprinters, and we also have the bigger party buses. And we curated a area for a DJ so that they can go on. People can basically, they were just doing tours. They would get on for 3 or 4 hours and just party on there, eat their food, dance, do whatever they wanted to do, and we were able to excel with that. The other part, sad part was funerals. So funerals, I mean, we were Monday, Tuesday, all during the week, and not only on the weekends. We were able to do that because we have a lot of contracts with funeral homes. So that really kept us afloat and actually took us over the hump where we were able to kind of go deeper into being creative. I curated packages for clients, to basically keep it COVID safe,
Right.
individualized drinks and so on that I blended with other chefs so that we can make that an experience on our vehicles as well.
Okay. So, and again, what would you say were the biggest challenges? Because I know you said obviously you were able to pivot.
Yeah.
That's what was the big word that we used
Yeah.
in the middle of the pandemic, is pivoting.
Mhm.
So, what were the challenges that you faced?
The challenges was also the health of our drivers, because at the time the vehicles are open. People are laughing, they're coughing, they're doing all these things that were open. So we had to make sure one of the things we did was continually cleaning, getting the products. If we could in a certain vehicle, we made sure to have a partition. And I know a lot of people in the medical industry, so I was able to make sure that those, if they didn't have ID or a place to go to get COVID testing and so on, we were able to do that because we wanted to make sure they're safe in order to keep them safe on our watch, and that they were healthy for their families as well.
Right. Now, again, you've been in business how long?
For Vintage Glam, it's been over 10 years, so about 13 or 14 years. Yeah.
And the transportation piece?
It's been the same. I met my husband, and so he had his transportation company, and I was doing event planning, and when we met, we merged. So
Okay.
it was a marriage made on earth.
So
I guess.
let's talk about that. How did that go in terms of merging the
Uh-huh.
businesses together?
When you've been doing your own thing for a while and someone else comes in, it's always hard to do because they had their way of running things and so on. And so, we just made sure that we made sure to make sure everything goes together. If someone calls me for an event, then I make sure to go ahead and to push that we have transportation as well. And then once word got out, it was just very easy to just, merge and blend the two and just, continue on doing what we're doing and what we love.
Okay. So what do you see? Where do you see with transportation now? Transportation's changing so much.
Yeah.
With all these new vehicles,
Yes.
electric vehicles. Do you see yourself going into any of the autonomous or the electric vehicles?
We've looked into that idea, and also with the autonomy vehicles, there's also those that with the electrical and so on and trucking. So in that ways, I know they've started with trucking as well. So that's something that we've looked into. We've purchased one, and
So you have.
Yeah, we're moving into the steps.
Okay, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. We're going to come right back. We're going to take a break. We're going to hear from one of our sponsors. See you on the other side.
Miami-Dade College has career paths in anything you want to be. What's your story? Be global. Be cutting edge. Be inventive. Be investigative. Be a hero. What do you want to be? Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
And welcome back to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. I'm here with Tricia Lewis. We're talking about electric vehicles right now. And, she has a business, Vintage Glam, and she has a transportation business. She's just this serial entrepreneur, she and her family and her husband. And we were just talking about obviously you're in the transportation business,
Mhm.
and you said you just got an electric truck.
Not an electric truck, but we've gotten into trucking where we can be able to just maneuver as we see where the industry is going
Mm-hmm.
to see how we can fit into that. So I know that for the trucking industry, they've started with some of those things. I don't think it's as vast as the electric vehicles as yet, but we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make sure that we got in the beginning so we can move along as they progress, that we're in the industry already.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Um, and again, I spoke about challenges. You know, the one thing that you hear me talk about, and you hear me talking about it all the time, is having the back of your house together.
Yes.
So, from your perspective, what does that mean,
Well,
and
that
how do you deal with that?
right. Well, also not only with Vintage Glam, I'm also the operations manager for a group home, which it's basically
Wait a
we
minute.
have.
Transportation, Vintage Glam, and not a group home.
Yes, yes, that's gone into 20 years. We celebrated 20 years in April.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's three. So what's the other two?
The other two are just hobbies. I love shopping. I love, like just do it, just volunteering, doing what doing what I love with whether it's with kids or adults.
But then you spend a lot of time, as you say, serving your church as well. So
Yes.
that's one in itself.
Yes.
But going back to the operations piece, as I
Yes.
say, having the back of your house
Mhm.
together. Let's go and talk about that a
Yeah.
little more.
Definitely a great accountant is definitely a must. That's one area where I tell any person that's starting anything to make sure that you sit down, whether it's a corporate accountant or just someone that can, let you know what the laws are, what is it that you're trying to do, whether it's an LLC, organization, or whatever it is, to really sit and do your own research and for them to be available to give you that insight every time there's a law that changes so that you're on top of it. So that's definitely one of the ways. And you have to take time out to pay attention to how your business is going and where your finances are, because, we're in the business to make money. But if you lose money, then you need to know how you can better do that the next time and to go ahead and to go into another level.
And then how do you market? Do you market separately? I would think that you do. Obviously, Vintage Glam is
Yes.
an event-driven business versus your transportation. How do you go about marketing? And do you use social media? How do you use social media?
Well, I started getting more involved in social media. The only thing is, when we first started, we had so many brokers as well as agreements with both funeral homes and some hotels. So at that time, it was pretty easy, and work just continued to came in also from word of mouth. That's one of the best things I always say. If even if you don't have a client that's not pleased with something, at least if you try to make it right, that's one of the things that will make it better on the back end.
Mhm.
That makes it easier for, as they can say, hey, this didn't turn out pretty good, but at least we were able to fix it or try to fix it, and then so they can spread the word regarding that.
And then talk about fixing things, challenges.
Yeah.
I know obviously 3 businesses and all the other things you're engaged in. It's got to be challenges.
Yeah.
And I know you said you actually, during the pandemic, you pivoted. And so there were a lot of businesses that did very well during the pandemic. It sounds like you did. So what have been the challenges?
The challenges have definitely been just keeping up with paperwork.
Okay.
A lot of things that we had to file and to do. That was definitely one of the challenges that we had. And just really getting good employees that were willing to do the job. And,
I
that,
want you to elaborate on that a little
yeah.
more, because again, during the pandemic, coming out of the pandemic,
Mhm.
one of the biggest challenges is finding employees, folks
Right.
who wanted to work.
Right.
So talk about that.
Well, one of the things during the pandemic, it seems that everyone decided that they wanted to be their own boss, started their own business,
Okay.
and felt that they wanted to be on the 6-figure income level. So one of the things we did, at least assist 2 of our drivers to purchase their own vehicles, and so we partner along with them, because many times I believe that we may start something, but we want to make sure that everyone that has started with us, that they excel as well. So we've taught them the business. Those that we know that were selling out their vehicles, we were able to, work something out with them so that others were able to purchase a vehicle from another company. And that made it a lot easier because we had relationships with them, and we were able to, have others that wanted to start their business. We were able to do that. So that was a great thing.
Wow. That's really interesting.
Mhm.
The future,
Yeah.
more businesses or
Two more.
two more.
Yeah, my daughter, just with her being in law school, she does a lot of, she's always does does a lot of consulting for friends, assisting them with papers and documentation and so on. So, we're showing her the ropes as how to go about that and keeping her, house in order, which it would be something that she would do for the future. So we're starting her off right now. So
And being that she's a lawyer, she will have that mindset, I guess.
Exactly.
In what particular
Exactly.
area of law?
Well, she wants to go into civil or entertainment, and it was a great thing when she goes to St. Thomas.
Okay.
So it was awesome for her to meet and to see the evolution of the renaming of their law school to
Okay.
Ben Crump. So that was amazing.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that was amazing thing to be in this wonderful city. So that was awesome to see.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The entertainment business, the event business, it's not easy.
No, it's not. It's not.
You have to deal with people.
Mm-hmm.
And, first of all, you're dealing with
Yes.
people. It's not like there's a product, a widget that you make
Right.
and you sell it. So where are those challenges when you're dealing with
Mhm.
your clients?
The main challenges is one of the things we wanted to make sure is that we didn't bargain, right? Because
Okay.
so many times I think during COVID, everybody kind of wants a little something extra and so on. But we make sure that, it's about standard. There are certain stores you go into and there's not going to be a sale. And if you love it, you love it. If you purchase it, you're willing to purchase it. And so one of the standards that we want to uphold is that, yeah, we are one of the best in the industries. We've gone on for a long time. We've have a lot of high-end clientele that we continue to give them great customer service, and we want that to continue. So
Well, speak about that. Repeat business.
yes, those are always the best.
Okay.
Repeat businesses are always the best because you've developed a relationship. It's not now just a business or, something that you do or you provide a service, but when you have someone that it's a particular type of client and yet still they come to you year after year, it says a lot. And so when they tell their friends, it means everything to us.
Wow.
Yeah.
You really epitomize the American dream.
Mhm.
You talk about three businesses looking to start two more.
Mhm.
So if someone wants to get in touch with you, how do they
Yes.
do that?
Well, I have a website, so it's vglamevents.org. Also, my phone number is 954-243-1262. And I'm also on all social media sites under vintage_events.com.
And so that's Vintage Glam.
Yes.
In the transportation business?
Yes, it's under that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, if we're separated, but it will be considered as all limos. But, I try to, because a lot of people continue to ask, you have the events and we see transportation. And so I'm pushing that as a package once, starting to put it onto my website as one.
And
'Cause
the
we are
number to
one.
get in touch with you again?
954-243-1262.
And if you want to know more about the Miami-Dade Chamber, go to www.m-dcc.org or call the chamber at 305-751-8648. This has been the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. See you next time. Today, I stand before you, a proud graduate of Miami-Dade College and the 5th president of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. I'm honored to return to the college that prepared me to become a leader in our community, providing an education second to none. So I'm asking you to please tune in every Monday at 12 noon to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce's Member Connection, as I interview members of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce on our Facebook page at Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce or our YouTube channel, Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. To learn more about the Chamber, please go to m-dcc.org or call the Chamber at 305-751-8648.